Roy Johnson.
Yeah.
Poor Roy Jones.
Yeah, Roy Jones. Damn, Roy, my bad. Roy Johnson.
Caught a stray.
So basically, he put together this whole elaborate plan in his mind of having a school, a prep school for, football players that didn't quite get any, looks from any big schools, and was like, okay, we'll take those guys, give them a chance to kind of get looks and get some footage on them, and hopefully some big schools will see them, offer some scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
It felt and seemed like a great idea. It was like, okay, he's trying to help the ones that are not the cream of the crop, but that doesn't mean we should just dispose of them and not give them an opportunity. But this dude, Roy Johnson, I want to see him evaluated. Like they need to have a special on him sitting down with a therapist so he can be evaluated, so we can really see exactly how crazy. I think he is absolutely insane.
While you were watching him, Maul, at any point in the doc, did you go, he really reminds me of somebody?
I had two people in mind.
Okay. He reminded me a lot through the entire doc.
Absolutely.
Especially when he flipped out after watching the kid say how much like he fucked him over, and then the immediate narcissism kicked in and he threw a fit as if he were the victim and he did everything for
when he got up and walked away.
I was just like, God, I can't put my finger on who this guy reminds me of. From the beginning all the way to the end, I was like, I can't. There's somebody that I know that is exactly like this guy.
I think we all have somebody that we know that is like that.
There were two people that came to mind for me. It was him and Billy McFarland. These guys suffer from like just an insane level of delusion. And the way Billy tried to do this was the festival. This was the football version of Firefest.
Yeah. This was definitely the football version of Fire. Actually, they should play a game at Firefest.
True.
That would really be it.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Billy's delusion, he kind of just was a dirtbag and shut the fuck up. Like, he didn't try to rationalize and flip it and make him the victim.
He's doing it right
everything.
now.
Yeah, I think Billy's was a little different. I think Billy had this great plan and it just turned into a real thing, and he was like, shit, I really don't know how to fucking execute this. Like, I didn't expect this to take off the way it did. This gentleman, Roy Johnson, though, he knew from the gate exactly what his intentions were.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that everybody was going to be fucked over.
Yeah.
And he was just going to be standing on top of a mountain of just casualties. Like, my plan worked. Like, I got to where I wanted to get to. I coached a football game on ESPN, and this is not even a school. We don't even have equipment. Players are sharing helmets.
So Rory Farrell decided to take some shots. I mean, he decided to go straight up in on Joe. Now, were these actual Joe shots? Were these like shots with a name on them? Like, did this bullet have Joe Budden name written on it when Rory decided to take shots? No, actually, no. They were discussing a documentary. Apparently, this documentary is about this narcissistic figure, and Rory was just like, wow, doesn't this guy remind you of somebody else? And he just started to pile on and basically mentioning and gaslighting the situation, talking about how this person basically compares to Joe Budden. And Maul, of course, he doesn't want to call Joe a cat burglar anymore, so he just brushed it off to the fucking side. Now, the thing that's going on with Rory and Maul's podcast is it's very fucking dry, and I would know. I actually listened to their podcast, and while it is filled and riddled with fucking ads, I mean, it's an ad everywhere. It is an ad throughout the whole entire podcast. It is an ad in the first 30 minutes. It is an ad in the beginning. It is an ad at the end. They don't care. They are pimping their fucking podcast. They're pimping their name out, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at it at all. Look, get your bag. If this is how you get bags within podcasting, doing ads, if this is the most consistent way to get a bag, then do it. It's just, sometimes you should think about the listener's experience. That's what I respect about Joe. He actually cares about what we hear and how it comes off and how it sounds. So when you just riddle your fucking podcast with ads, Gillian Wallow, for example, I do not listen to $1 million worth of game. I don't know who is on there. They could have act. I had to listen to the Joe Budden one because we had to hear if Joe Budden and Gilly were going to address their issues with each other, and they kind of did, but I had to listen to that one, and that was just a horrible listening experience because every fucking 30 minutes was an ad, and it was a pointless one. It wasn't Manscaped or HelloFresh, none of the ones that you consistently hear or see. No, it was fucking New Amsterdam vodka. Nobody in this world buys New Amsterdam vodka. I'm sure they have plethora of money to just pill out to all these random podcast hosts and say, hey, sponsor New Amsterdam vodka, but nobody's drinking that shit. No one. I don't know anybody of it. I haven't drank New Amsterdam vodka since I was at least 22. At least. And that was at the least, that was the youngest I could have been when I drank some New Amsterdam vodka. I don't want to hear your fucking New Amsterdam vodka ads, Gilly. I'm sorry. They're not cool enough. They're not funny enough. You know, they think, oh, we're going to get these personalities to read off these ads and it should make it sell more and it should make it more engaging and people should want to hear this shit. No, no. They come off as random commercial guy talking about New Amsterdam or Manscaped or fucking food. That's how they come off. They don't come off like, oh, this is a charismatic type read. Like, no, it doesn't go off like that. Now, in other ways, you can put ads in your podcast. You know, you can kind of add it as a topic or a conversation. Yeah, if Gilly wants to have the New Amsterdam corner where literally he just talks about his drunken experiences with New Amsterdam, then that makes sense. Cool, whatever. But reading some New Amsterdam shit off trying to get me to drink it? No. Gilly and Waller have that problem. Rory and Maul have that problem as well. They said, look, we're going to get our bags because we don't know when this shit is not going to be popping anymore. So let's just get the bag while it is popping, get the bag while our name is still kind of relevant. And then, you know, hopefully we've milked our podcast as much as fucking possible. And by the time nobody's listening to it anymore, we are sitting well. And I'm not mad at them. But at the same time, Rory should not be taking this time out to take shots at Joe. And clearly Joe, even me, Joe, and honestly everybody else knows, Rory's the type to throw a stone and hide his fucking hand. He doesn't want to have a back and forth with Joe. He really doesn't. And Joe even says that. On his Twitter. He was like, okay, now if I say something, you're just gonna cry. Like, we all know what you're gonna do. You're just gonna cry. And you know how white people are, especially the ones with white privilege. They just cry victim. So yeah, oh, don't attack me, even though you're throwing shot. But I didn't say your name. Oh, shut up. We know who the fuck you were talking about, Rory. But anyways, those were my 2 cents. What are your guys' thoughts? Please leave them in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.